Tim Burton is a renowned director, recognized mostly for his fantasy, solemn theme incorporated into his films. He has directed many films, from Beetlejuice to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Daddy, I want another pony.
It is interesting to dive deep into how Burton's film transformed into the icon they are today. As a child, Burton would often watch monster films, being his favorite genre. He also enjoyed Ray Harryhausen's stop-motion films. These genres and styles are certainly present in his films today. Enjoying films like Frankenstein, as he is seen as a monster, when he really wasn't, with his rough upbringing helping him to relate to these characters. He got his start at Disney, which gave him the chance to produce films like Vincent and Frankenweenie, which helped propel his career. Although Disney decided that his short films were too gothic and dark for their audience, Burton himself confessed that he believed he wasn't very good at their art style. Tim Burton is known for using dead dogs as lead side characters within his films. This relates back to his childhood, where he lost a family dog. This has seemingly had a major impact on Burton that he never really got over. He encompasses that through his films, with Sparky and Frankenweenie, Zero in the Nightmare Before Christmas, and Scraps and the Corpse Bride. While Burton could not bring his beloved dog back in real life, he lived this vision through the figurative world in his films.
You should have seen him with fur.
His first 3 films, Pee-wee's Big Adventure
I'm Batman.
and Beetlejuice, weren't the conventional run-of-the-mill films, showing his unique style, which can only be described as Burton-esque. With his films featuring a lot of dark comedy and death, as his childhood favorites also had a major theme of death. With his closeness to Hispanic culture, where death is treated more lightly than the American culture would, and that is why Burton is very complacent with the idea of death. The description of characters being lonely, isolated, and a little to majorly depressed. Characters who own a dog can be used to describe several of his film's protagonists. Relating to him, Burton's view is that he does not want to create a character unless he can relate to them, even if the character is very minor within the film. He believes this gives more insight into the character and relation for the audience. He also likes to work with people he has worked with before, as he likes to see how they change from one film to another. As well, Johnny Depp and Burton had a very unique bond that allowed Depp to understand what exactly Burton was looking to show and portray in his films, enabling him to act how Burton wanted. The same goes for Helen Bonham Carter, as they both had an acceptance and understanding of Burton-esque films.
He's a murderer! She killed my Jabba Baby Wonka!
Burton also chooses to use the same sound creator, Dan Elfman, as he is able to create the right music to categorize the film, even through a simple intro. Burton also reverts back to the theme of loss and love on several occasions, with a lot of his characters suffering or experiencing a tragic death, with nearly every single one of his films showcasing a romantic element, like Edward and Kim in Edward Scissorhands, Katrina and Ichabod in Sleepy Hollow, and much more. Although he has a romance theme, a lot of them ultimately end in the loss of the relationship with a few exceptions. His themes also follow a very dark path, whether they end well or not. For example, the start of The Corpse Bride is very grim, and a happy ending is not in sight. A relationship between a human and a corpse not seeming real. But Burton then flips the switch, and somehow creates a fantasy-like romance that brings the corpse back to life. This encases his continuous use of fantasy while also still withholding the horror aspect. Burton also continues his horror love appeal through his live-action Edward Scissorhands, with once again Johnny Depp and Winona Ryder. It starts off very somber, just like The Corpse Bride, following an immediate pattern. It tells the story of the unloved Edward, born with scissor hands, ostracized from the town. With Burton using his skills again, he manages to craft the love story into an unimaginable tale between the two. It is clear throughout his films that Tim Burton has a unique and signature style, using death as a pivotal storytelling device, and relating to his mind frame at the time, when creating the characters, combining his love for horrors and classic monster films throughout his creations, using his films as an expensive form of therapy for himself. Throughout his years, Tim Burton has become a stylistic icon that can be recognized even without his name attached to the piece, using his experiences to craft a well-rounded film whilst expressing versions of his life story.
I'm just going to draw the way I wanted to draw.